8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj, read by Soundithavam. The Prime Minister says the employees in local government bodies will be made permanent in a systematic manner. The annual Asala festival will commence on August 17th and will continue until August 31st in Kandy. The Development Lotteries Board and the National Lotteries Board have increased the price of a ticket to 40 rupees from tomorrow. The Minister of Education, SLBC, told Parliament today that the literacy among grade 3 children in Sri Lanka had dropped alarmingly due to the COVID pandemic. The adjournment debate on the delay of the court procedures based on the resolutions put forward by the ruling and opposition party members was taken up for debate today in Parliament. Minister Vidura Wickramanayake said effective legal regulations will be activated to promote reconciliation and coexistence in the country. News overseas. Jharkhand 10 sent to jail in India for lynching Muslim man. In sports, the Ashes 2023, England pick Mark Wood, Chris Wokes and Moeen Ali for the third test. Minister Vidura Wickramanayake said effective legal regulations will be activated to promote reconciliation and coexistence in the country. Effective law reforms will also be brought to punish the culprits who disturb the religious harmony of the country. The minister made these comments while addressing Parliament today. The adjournment debate on the delay of the court procedures based on the resolutions put forward by the ruling and opposition party members was taken up for debate today in Parliament. The Minister of Justice, Vijaydas Rajapaksa, said effective measures have been taken to strengthen the court trials and other related procedures. The court procedures will be further strengthened through development of infrastructure facilities and digitization processes. Around 80 amendments are to be tabled in Parliament in the near future to strengthen this process, the Minister added. The Temple of the Sacred Chitralek in Kandy, Dalamaligawa, today announced the official dates of the 2023 annual Asala Perahera. Accordingly, the annual Asala festival will commence on August 17th and will continue until August 31st in Kandy. The first Kumbal Perahera will parade along the streets of Kandy on August 21st and continue until August 25th. The Randoli Perahera will commence on August 26th and end on August 30th. The Asala festival will conclude with a water cutting ceremony on August 30th. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Sri Lanka has made significant progress in primary education, but there are still some gaps and challenges that need to be addressed. Education Minister Susil Premajayanta said, while addressing a workshop organised by the UNICEF to discuss the way forward in primary education in Sri Lanka, he said, children who represent 30% of Sri Lanka's total population are disproportionately impacted by humanitarian crisis and they require special care and attention. As in many other countries during the COVID-19 pandemic, our school faced many serious problems. Hence, the primary education sections are mainly affected due to that. Children face the risk of separation from their families or may not be able to access critical services such as health, nutrition, water, sanitization, education and protection, he said. In areas with existing vulnerabilities such as poverty, young people are even more vulnerable to chronic malnutrition, food insecurity, child labour, trafficking and exploitation, and they may drop out of school at increased rates. Furthermore, children and young people are now part of the generation that will have to deal with increasingly adverse climate change-related events. The UNICEF coordinates, strengthens and executes response plans in the face of such crisis through early warning mechanisms, emergency operations and development planning in coordination with the Government of Sri Lanka and key ministries. Senior Training Consultant Colonel W.D.B. Patmalal has been appointed as the 15th National Training Commissioner of the Sri Lanka Scouts Association. Mr. Patmalal has vast experience and gained experience in Australia, America and India. The Development Lotteries Board has increased the price of a ticket to 40 rupees from tomorrow. In the meantime, the prize money is also doubled. The chairman of the DLB, Ajit Naragala, said special commissions are also provided to the district ticket agents, ticket sellers and sales agents. Meanwhile, the chairman of the National Lotteries Board, Dr. Chamirasi Yapa Abevadana, said their ticket prices are also increased to 40 rupees from tomorrow. The prize money of the NLB also doubled to provide more winning chances to the consumers. 21 families are affected due to strong wind conditions experienced in the Kandy district. The Disaster Management Centre said effective measures have been taken to provide temporary shelter to the affected family members. The Kandy District Secretary Chandana Tennakon said dry food rations are also being provided to the affected families. That concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said the non-permanent employees in local government bodies will be made permanent in a systematic manner. The Premier also said the tax collection and other payment schemes will also be implemented through online soon. A special program will be introduced in this regard. The main objective of this exercise is to provide an effective service to the general public. A plan is being devised to make the Mahargama area a centre of small and large-scale garment producers. The area will be developed to the maximum to provide various benefits and facilities to the public. The Premier made these remarks at a function held in Colombo today and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight. The literacy among grade 3 children in Sri Lanka had dropped alarmingly due to the COVID pandemic, the Minister of Education, Susil Premajantha, told Parliament today. The literacy rate of grade 3 children has been found to be as low as 14%. As a survey conducted recently, the Minister said. He said the main reason for this was the crash in the education system during the pandemic. The Minister said numeracy knowledge among children had also been found drastically low. Also, the country's education system is entering into a crisis situation as there are nearly 4,000 schools are functioning without principals. That came to you in Watchlight and on to World News. Jharkhand 10 sent to jail in India for lynching Muslim man. Ruins found of Munich synagogue destroyed by Hitler. Netherlands phone ban announced to stop school disruptions. A court in India has given 10-year jail terms to 10 men for beating a Muslim man to death 4 years ago. Tabrez Ansari, 24, died days after being attacked by people who accused him of stealing a motorcycle in the eastern state of Jharkhand. A video showing Ansari being forced to say chants praising Hindu gods while pleading for his life had gone viral and led to huge outrage in India. His family alleged that police denied him treatment despite his injuries. 85 years after Adolf Hitler ordered the destruction of Munich's main synagogue, construction workers have found rubble from the building in a nearby river. They uncovered columns from the synagogue and a stone tablet showing some of the 10 Commandments. The Jewish community and local figures are delighted with the discovery. Devices including mobile phones are said to be banned from classrooms to stop them from disrupting learning, the Dutch government has announced. The initiative is being introduced in collaboration with schools and is to take effect at the start of next year. There will be some exemptions, including for students with medical needs or disability and for classes focused on digital skills. And that's World News. On to development news. Air China resumed flights with Colombo and Chengdu, and the first flight arrived at the Katunayake International Airport yesterday. An A320 Airbus-type aircraft was used for this maiden first flight, and there were 142 passengers and 9 flight crew members in this flight. The Chinese National Airline will operate 3 weekly flights to Colombo on Sundays, Wednesdays and Fridays. The GSA for the airline is Jetwing Travels. The Chinese National Airline had temporarily suspended flights to Sri Lanka due to the COVID pandemic 3 years ago. The Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Kui Zeng Hong, Chinese National Airlines Asia Pacific Regional Manager Zhu Juan, and a large number of invitees welcomed the passengers and crew at the BIA. That's development news. And on to sports cricket. England have made 3 changes to the third Ashes test, bringing in Mark Wood, Chris Woakes and Moeen Ali. Ollie Pope had been ruled out of the series, but England have opted against replacing him with Dan Lawrence, the spare batter in their squad. Instead, Harry Brook moves up to number 3, with all-rounders Woakes and Moeen added to bolster the lower order. Wood joins Woakes, Stuart Broad and Ollie Robinson in the pace attack, with Josh Chung and James Anderson rested. That came to you in sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
HNB PLC was once again declared the best SME bank in Sri Lanka at the Asia Money Awards 2023. Organised to showcase excellence among leading banks in the Asia-Pacific region, this year's awarding process followed stringent evaluations of financial performance and strategic business models, in addition to weighing in feedback from customers and competitors. That's business news. Economic news up next.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news.
Earnings on the exports of agricultural goods increased in May 2023 compared to a year ago, with a substantial share of increase being contributed by tea, led by higher average export prices and volumes. Meanwhile, an increase in earnings were reported in seafood, mainly processed fish, spices, mainly higher volumes of nutmeg and maize, and cinnamon, minor agricultural products, mainly fruits and areca nuts, unmanufactured tobacco and vegetables. And that's economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department says the prevailing heavy showers over the southwestern part of the island is expected to reduce from tomorrow. Showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu and central provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the northwestern province. Strong winds about 45 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in the western slopes of the central hills, northern and north-central provinces, and in the Puttalam, Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. And to conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The Prime Minister says the employees in local government bodies will be made permanent in a systematic manner. The annual Asala festival will commence on August 17th and will continue until August 31st in Kandy. The Development Lotteries Board and the National Lotteries Board have increased the price of a ticket to 40 rupees from tomorrow. The Minister of Education, Susil Premajayant, told Parliament today that the literacy among grade 3 children in Sri Lanka had dropped alarmingly due to the COVID pandemic. The adjournment debate on the delay of the court procedures based on the resolutions put forward by the ruling and opposition party members was taken up for debate today in Parliament. Minister Vidura Wickramanayake said effective legal regulations will be activated to promote reconciliation and coexistence in the country. Jharkhand sent to jail in India for lynching Muslim man. The Ashes 2023, England pick Mark Wood, Chris Woakes and Moeen Ali for the third test. With that, we conclude tonight's news broadcast, and now it's back to your host, Ramesh Piris, to take you to the end of transmission and keep you well entertained. All yours, Ramesh.